Viernes por la mañana en la cancha de Los de Mazarik. ¿Qué otra cosa vamos a estar haciendo sino celebrando algo realmente importante? La unión entre tres grandes: StockX, los Pistons de Detroit y Lost. El pretexto, el partido de la NBA que se celebra el día de mañana, donde los Pistones van a salir con uno de los parches nuevos de la compañía que los patrocina, StockX. Pero para disipar esas dudas vamos a hablar con el señor Brendan Dunne para que nos hable de lo que se está haciendo para cambiar la perspectiva que tenemos de StockX. Bueno, nosotros no, sino más bien mucho del mercado. Yo soy su homie el Poxte, este es el fin de semana de la NBA y StockX en México y esto es un nuevo episodio de Está. Could you break us down what's going to happen this weekend here in Mexico City?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, for us as an organization, we're really focused on a lot about our international footprint. And so with our contribution to the NBA Global game this weekend, we intentionally planned a lot of activations, really bringing Detroit to Mexico City in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. You know, the nice thing about Mexico City and Detroit, there's a lot of synergies and similarities, creativity, hard work, and, you know, just community. And so for us, as we think about all of the activations we have going on throughout the weekend, it's really integrating all those pieces together to really do something truly special. And so here at Lust will kind of be the kickoff for that. Last night we had something for our team, which was really a good time and fun. And then we have some community stuff that we're doing in partnership with the Dallas Mavericks. So we're doing a court refurbishment project here for the community.
We work directly with the Detroit Pistons team, especially Southwest Freddie, who created all the artwork and gave the creative direction. Being that it was Dia de los Muertos, I really wanted to incorporate that into the mix. All the floral, the skulls, the feel, really honor the culture, but most importantly, be able to still feel basketball and still feel Detroit Pistons. And so wanted to bring a little bit of feel of that to make it interactive. So you'll be seeing everything from an LED court to what you're seeing back here, which is our sneaker cam and a couple other surprises. But again, all of the kind of creative vision was really incorporating what Freddie gave to us, but also bringing a little bit of Mexico into it.
Mr. Brendan Dunne, back in Mexico City.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo le va?
Bien, bien.
Brendan, for the people that don't know you,
Yes.
that are living under a rock and obviously don't know a rock star when they see one, could you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Brendan Dunne. I'm the Senior Director of Customer Community and Engagement at StockX. I've been with StockX for a few months now. A lot of people know me from my previous work at Complex. I was at Complex for 10 years covering sneaker culture, did a couple shows, podcasts, things like that, really lived this sneaker stuff.
Really live the sneaker life.
Yes, yeah.
I wouldn't say sneaker stuff, the sneaker life.
Yeah.
What does that title entail? Because people have been asking me what you're supposed to be doing. I have no idea what you're supposed to be doing.
It's a lot of stuff like this. It's a lot of connecting with people in the community around the globe. It's a lot of like helping them understand what StockX does, how StockX wants to interact with sneaker culture. Some of it is making content you might have seen, but I'm still doing videos like I used to do because that's a big passion of mine. So yeah, just keeping us tapped in with sneaker culture, whether it's back home in Detroit where we're based or here in Mexico or any of the places around the globe where we operate.
What's happening this weekend here in Mexico City? Why is Brendan Dunne next to the whole StockX squad here in Mexico City?
We're here because StockX is partnering with the Pistons. As you hopefully know, we are the logo sponsor for the Pistons, so we got the patch on the jersey, and it's a really natural partnership because we're both Detroit-based. It's a hometown thing. But like I said, we want to be global, and we're here because the Pistons are playing in Mexico City this weekend, so we figured what better time than now to pop out and join our global community here in Mexico.
What's the most important thing about reaching out and holding down that community? And especially when it's not like Brendan is the face for all of Latin America.
Right, not at all. I'm not the face for any of Latin America.
For any of Latin America. So
you're one of the faces.
I try to do it, but
we see that. We love that.
What's the strategy you guys are doing to make everyone feel like part of a movement? Not just like I buy from StockX, but I'm part of a family.
Yeah, just listening and interacting, being on the ground, like figuring out how people are interacting with sneakers here differently than we do in the US. I mean, talking to people like yourself, just really keeping an open set of ears as to what's happening in sneaker culture in Mexico.
Okay, I know you have access to a bunch of data, a bunch of numbers that could probably, maybe doesn't mean anything for somebody else, but what's the Latin American market about right now?
Yeah, I mean, the data means a lot to us because we really feel like it's one of our advantages and one of the ways that we can see a little bit more in terms of how people are consuming sneakers, especially when you look at different geographies. And we did pull some of the data for Latin America, for Mexico specifically. We saw a lot of Veja, like 14 times more than the global average.
Really?
A lot of On sneakers, 7 times more than the global average. And then of course, like things like Jordan and Nike also quite big. I was surprised by On because to me, everywhere I go, On feels big. Is that something that you would feel like it's particularly big here? Do we see On sneakers all the time?
Every single, I mean,
We're on one.
we're on one.
Yeah.
On one,
Yeah.
definitely. Last week we had La Formula Uno. It was Formula One.
Sí, yeah.
Every single pair of sneakers that you saw, people in the paddocks and people.
Everybody was wearing On.
Everywhere was wearing On.
Do you have a pair?
No. No,
Okay.
I do.
You're the
I do
only
have.
person in Mexico shopping on StockX who hasn't yet bought a pair
hasn't
of
yet
On
bought it.
sneakers.
I know,
We might
I
have
know.
to change that this weekend. We might help you out with that.
Let's see if we can make something happen.
All right.
What else could you tell us about the Latin American market? Because Mexico City, people used to see, well, in Latin America, we all look, upwards to what's happening in the United States.
Yeah.
But from, I don't know, probably like 5 or 6 years, every single country in Latin America has started to gain a different traction.
Okay, cool.
The scene is very different in different places.
Yeah.
Argentina is one way, Colombia is another. How do you deal with that? I mean, because at the end of the day, you want everybody in Latin America to buy.
For sure, for
Mhm.
sure. I mean, one of the ways we deal with that is just like our supply chain network that helps connect buyers and sellers within the regions they're in to get shoes faster. That's something we're super proud of. And like I said, just like connecting with people, listening to people, seeing what the trends are, seeing how different geographies want different items. Another one I should mention is Pop Mart is super big. We see Pop Mart in like the top 5 brands traded in Mexico, so that for sure. But also like I said, we love the data and I love looking at it and it tells us a lot, but you're the expert in this stuff. Like I said, I'm not the face.
Okay,
or the voice of
no.
what's happening here.
But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, how do you personally go and I mean, do you reach out towards the people that are doing stuff like that?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of talk through Paco,
Of course, yeah.
I imagine you have somebody else in different territories that like, okay, you know the pulse of the things. Let's see what you're supposed to be talking about.
For sure. And part of the work I'm doing in terms of customer community is going into different places and like getting everybody together and talking about sneakers and figuring out. We just did one of these dinners in New York, which is quite natural because that's where I'm based. And we brought together a lot of people who are members of the sneaker community out there on different levels, whether they are running the sneaker floor at Kith or they work at a brand or they're a hardcore reseller who's in the streets every day. So things like that we do in New York, we want to do in Detroit, we want to do in Mexico, we want to do in Tokyo, we want to do in London to better understand from the locals what's happening.
We just saw what you did for J-Tips in, was it New York?
Yeah.
How could you translate something like that towards launch in Mexico City or in any other place?
Yeah, you got to find the right person who's really tapped in and like representing that, whether it's the city or the country or that hyper local spot. And I think J-Tips is such a good person to represent New York City. He's so proud of that, being from the Bronx specifically, and that's why one of the reasons why we were so hyped to just like partner with him on that launch. So we definitely want to do that elsewhere.
People used to have, and probably still have in Latin America, different, or I would say, opinion about StockX. Once you start talking about, or a debate starts about StockX, people, mostly resellers, go, I don't know, man, did you know that they sell fakes, right? You know that sometimes you can get a fake or something like that. And it went from that, like maybe 5 or 6 years to right now, a flip side.
Yeah.
Right now, everybody, if you want to sell something or do anything with a pair of sneakers, you go to StockX to tap in.
Yeah.
And how did you guys change that perspective?
Well, one of the big things is that we have invested millions of dollars, I would venture to say more than anybody else, in fighting counterfeits and things like that. And hopefully you'll get a chance to come check it out sometimes. But if you ever see what happens inside our verification centers and the extent and the lengths that people go to filter out those items, it's really incredible stuff. We have CT scanning technology to create 3D images of sneakers. We're scanning RFID chips. We're doing all sorts of technological things that people don't necessarily see on the outside. And I think that's one of the ways that we've been able to shift the narrative and show people the extent to which we are committed to that. Another way is our buyer's promise, a policy that we introduced a while back, where if we do make a mistake, if ever we do get something wrong, we're happy to own that mistake and make it right with the customer.
At the end of the day, I'm happy, if the buyer's happy, and if the seller's happy.
Yeah.
If everyone's happy, and if everyone goes, I mean, you have some dollars in your pocket, I got the pair that I wanted.
Right.
That's basically it, you know? Trust is one of the most important things in that process.
For sure.
How do you
and
win
we have
that
to
trust?
earn that trust. We have to earn that trust by showing people the extent to which we are invested in this and the extent to which we can get it right. And like some of that stuff we have to keep secret and we have to keep proprietary because you can't let the public see everything. But like it's about telling them like we really believe in this system and we're really invested in it. We're always improving it.
Okay. Do you think that being a sneaker person, I don't like to call people sneakerheads, but being a sneaker person, do you think that gives you an advantage towards the job you're doing right now?
For sure, because like even if I wasn't doing this job, I would be invested in sneakers and sneaker culture just the same. So it's something that I think about and am obsessed with beyond the 9 to 5 hours that I do this job. So it definitely gives me an advantage, and it helps me be aware and fluent in almost everything that's going on because I really, like I said, you know, I've been invested in sneaker culture since I was a teenager. I'm sure you feel the same way. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's, I mean, it's like you're part of the community. You know, if somebody drops something, they know you, they know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about future trends. Right now, running is completely the vibe.
For sure. You joined a run club yet?
I already did, like a couple of years ago, and then I left it, and then I came back. Tavo still runs.
Okay.
Angel still runs.
You're a free agent right now for
right
run
now,
clubs?
yes.
Okay, someone might have to pick you up on a contract.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep it. Next year, it's gonna be all about football,
Yes,
and we're gonna
for
say
sure.
football, not soccer.
Claro.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
How's StockX preparing for next year?
Yeah, I mean, we are just making sure we're servicing all those items that the brands are getting ready for that big football push in 2026 around the World Cup. One of the items that we've seen, of course, and you know this already, but like Total 90,
Total 90,
like we see it everywhere. I don't have the stat off the top of my head, but definitely one of the biggest sellers on our platform this year. And yeah, I presume, and we don't always like to make predictions, but like that the jerseys next year are going to be quite big as well, because Nike has a bunch of kind of streetwear collaborations that they're lining up for jerseys for different countries, so that's going to be exciting. Yeah, it's going to be huge push from all the brands, and StockX will be there to service those items. Okay.
We're not going to talk about future or anything like that. Let's talk about let's keep it in the present.
Okay, cool.
What about people that think that maybe hype is dead, but people that say that the sneaker culture is dead?
No way. No way.
Please, from an expert point of view.
It's such an absurd claim that like I don't even, sometimes I don't know how to respond to it. But look, I think that there are more people than ever before who are engaged in sneakers and who are interested in sneakers and who are participating in the hobby of collecting or selling or making content around them. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that sometimes when the scene is way bigger, you have a harder time finding the people who are super dialed in and the real experts or the people who have been tapped in for a long time. But that's fine. Like, we'll still find each other. We're here. So I don't know. I don't like shoes any less than I did 2 years ago.
I know, and especially when you've been like in the culture or collecting or using sneakers or being a fan of hip hop. I mean, it's not like, man, I'm tired of this. I mean, this is for life.
Yeah.
You guys, what's gonna happen? What's gonna go down this weekend? It's not just about you guys.
Right.
You're here with the Pistons, and you also brought different content creators.
Yes, for sure.
What's the importance of that?
The importance of that is just like letting them experience Mexico City in the same way we are, and letting them have their own lens on what's happening here, and just enjoying this moment where StockX and the Pistons are bringing everyone together.